This is it's my pleasure to work with you guys in trying this again. I've been enjoying seeing the results. I've been enjoying hearing the responses from anybody and everybody that's partaking in this, because it's beyond what the television shows have been promoting. It's beyond what the equipment provides for you, and that's yourselves. As I go through this, there is a label people can put on this as a form of hypnosis, or as Susan said, meditation. It's neither of those. It's really kind of just getting an understanding of what the capabilities are that each of you have that will kind of be surprising to yourselves at the same time. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is just testing the waters of what you've experienced up here, what you were sensing up here. And then I've got Jeff here, who's one of the tour guides and part of the Easy Peasy team to help to validate a little bit on that. I want to see hands first that are experiencing the man that was up here. Anybody experiencing the man that was up here? Jeff, not you. You know the whole history. What'd you experience?
Just coming up the stairs here, right up the hallway. It was overrun with crowds. And it felt like someone was standing.
The sense of a man standing there?
Or a sense of someone standing.
Someone, but you couldn't tell the sex. Okay. Who had a definitive feeling for a female on the second floor? Show of hands. What'd you sense?
It's kind of just like right here, like a tingly.
Just a sensation of tingling? Okay. And finally, child, male or female. Who had a sensation of a child walking around up here? We live here too. Okay. Now, that's on a cold walk, we call it. Going up there, no information, no nothing. And you're basically just kind of getting a feel. Now, we're going to go through this process, and then you're going to walk through it again afterwards. Can all of you stand up? Now, keep your hands where you're most comfortable, whether it's in front and back or on the side, wherever you're most comfortable. Now, you can keep your eyes open, but I would much prefer that you close them. Now, if it becomes a fact of becoming dizzy, you could sit back down again. It's really not going to have relevance, but this is what I would call an equal playing field. Now, eyes closed if you possibly can. And I want you to visualize, again, in your head, the size of this room that you've been sitting in. You sat down in it, you looked around a little bit. Try to visualize the size and dimension of this room. Now, once you have it in your head, I want you to believe that water is now filling up this room at a very quick pace, that is coming in from one specific direction. And I want you to remember what direction that water is rushing in from. Now it's still filling up. It's going up past your knees, up towards your waist. You can actually feel the water. You can't test the temperature. You can't feel that it's too hot or it's too cold. It's just at a particular room temperature. And as it's rising up past your midsection, up towards your elbows, you feel it in your hands submersing you. You're still touching the floor of the room, and yet the water is still rising. It's not a factor of buoyancy. You're not being lifted up, but the water will stop right at your chin. So you'll feel it past your collarbone. If you've ever been in the water, whether it's a pool or an ocean, there's a little bit more of a chill once it reaches and completely submerses your body. Once you go past the shoulders, you're at that chin level, each and every one of you. Even though you're at different heights, in your realm and your reality, that's what you are experiencing right now. So you're at your chin level. The water has a bit of a buoyancy in its movement, but not just the buoyancy of it's coming up a little bit, going down. It just happens to be because there's other energies in here, but you also feel the wave. Feel as a current would be when the ocean comes in and the ocean goes out. And it's consistent and it's strong. And when you're feeling it, it's kind of moving your body at the same time. What you're doing right now is connecting yourself to what's called the collective consciousness. This water is your collective consciousness. by feeling that movement, the water, the tide moving all the way up to your neck. You're also now able to detect the other energies in the water. These are the people that are standing around you right now. Now, I'll give you about 3 deep breaths because you're also going to begin to feel other energies enter this room where you're not going to hear footsteps, you're not going to hear anybody walking in, but you're going to recognize the energy entering into this room. When I say now, just breathe calmly, breathe collectively, 3 deep breaths like you were just inside the water, starting now. In, out, they're starting to enter. In, out, there's energies in here now. In, out. You have energy in the water. The people that are also around you have energy in the water. These energies that are coming in are no different. This is not an aspect of fear. They're not up in your face. You're not going to feel that type of an oppression or that type of intimidation. They're in that same feeling behind that. Now, I'm going to ask you at the same time, with your eyes closed at this point, if you had them open, close them for a second. But I'm going to ask you 2 questions. I'm going to ask you where the water rushed in from, and I want you to point, but don't point where you stick your hand out and hurt anybody. Just kind of put your hand up close enough to where anybody, especially Kelly who's filming, can see which direction that water came in from. So I'm going to count to 3 and just point in that direction. That's the first question. 1, 2, 3. Point the direction the water came from. Now, put your hands down. I'm going to ask you which direction these energies came in from and where they are at this point in time. Where the energies came in from, respond to that first. You know where they are at this point in time. So point to where they came into this room. 1, 2, 3. Hands down. And where they are standing right now. These energies beyond human, beyond the form and flesh that you are in right now, but they are standing here. I want you to go ahead and point where it's at. 1, 2, 3, point. Okay, and then lastly, how many spirits are in here? Throw that number of fingers up. How many spirits are in this room right now? Okay, finally, last thing. Let's go back to where the spirits came into this room. Everybody point where the spirits came into this room, where you feel them come in. Everybody point in that direction. Stay right there. Open your eyes. Was anybody scared?
Yeah.
Who felt connected? Who was like, I'm part of this pool, I'm part of this energy? Who felt that? Now, that was just a taste, and we'll up the end here just a second, because there's some interesting energies up here. I don't know where this connection is with you and I, whether or not you're reading my energies or the actual energies that were here, but everything that I did, you duplicated. Everything. You, at the same time, have something you brought. Not dangerous, by no means, but you have a protector, a guide, because your first sensation was right there with you, in your area. And these energies will not do that to start off with. There's something that's with you also. Now, I want you guys to take a very silent, observant walk through this floor again. And then we'll come back and ask if you guys have those same sensations about men, women, and children in this place. Go where your energy takes you right now. Walk around and feel free. Make sure you cover the whole